Welcome, this is xger21 writing over at mtgo.com, and here we have my friendly sealed league. This is stage 2 in the Hour of Devastation League, and this is match 2 of the stage. And my opener is quite awful. As I discussed at the end of match 1, 5 lands is not keepable, so 6 lands is definitely not keepable. Fortunately, my opponent also mulliganed. This hand is uninspiring, to say the least, but I don't think I'll get a better 5, so I decided to go ahead and keep that. And then getting an Amonkhet on top is actually not bad, as with the Vitalist I'll be able to play it, and having a removal spell in this situation is better than not. My opponent starts off quite aggressive with the Entangler. Pretty much at this point, if he offers, it's still probably not worth the trade for me, just because I can kill it with Splendid Agony pretty easily. Instead, he chooses to exert. Fortunately, he plays another 1 toughness creature, and so I get a 2 for 1 him with Splendid Agony, which is not as common as you would like, but always feels good when you get to do it that way. Especially after a mulligan and being on the play, my opponent is now fairly strongly on the back foot. I didn't really feel the need to use the Ambuscade at that point. I was fine taking the damage. They're down to 2 cards in hand, and that was their only permanent on the field, so I'd feel taking a little bit of damage and getting an extra 1 is probably fine. It also lets me do what I just did, which is, by killing it, I get to play the Bone Picker for 1, use my mana much more efficiently. And my opponent passes without anything to do. So that tells me they were likely to have a trick, which they did. But I had no choice to attack. They're down to 1 card in hand, so I'm pretty fine with how things are going at this point, even if I only have 2 power on the board. Unfortunately, the Ritualist doesn't actually let me get to Nicol Bolas because I need... Actually, no, excuse me, it does, because I have red. And so I actually don't even have to exert the Ritualist to get there, as I now have 7 mana in total. So, of course, the obvious choice... I decided to wait, as I feel like I still have control of the game, and so I don't think there's as much benefit in revealing it if I don't need to. I have several removal in hand. My opponent is low enough on cards. They took the 3 damage there. I offer the trade and then decide I should just slam Nicol Bolas and put my opponent close to dead. They concede once I cast it though. So I hope you join me for game 2. Alright, welcome back, and here's game 2. My opponent keeps their opening hand. While I do have a card I can't play with my opening hand, I still have 2 I can play, and I have one of my splash lands. The odds of me getting a swamp are high enough that I'm perfectly fine keeping this hand. Even if it's not the best, it should serve fine. And then off the top I draw a swamp, which is good, as I can now curve out 2, 3, 4 as needed. So my opponent has a pretty aggressive draw here with only Paramount, Thorn Moloch, and then a Firebrand Archer, and they get to follow it up with a Compulsory Rest. And I block there just to prevent 2 damage. There's no point in chumping at this point. I don't feel I'm in the position where chumping is worthwhile yet. So with my opponent here attacking like that, it seems likely they'll have some kind of trick, because it seems odd to just sacrifice the creature, but they did not, and I'm fine with that. And then I use Doomfall to exile one of their creatures. They choose to get rid of their Sunscourge Champion, which is a bit surprising since it has Eternalize, and then for whatever reason, after they drew, they must have just continued to draw lands. They decided to concede. And so that's the match. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you watch the next match.